20 years ago, we were lost teenagers, smoking, drinking, doing drugs, and searching for answers in all the wrong places. We were about to be expelled from our schools, directionless, using whatever we can to fill the void of not knowing who the fuck we were. The truth is that we weren't addicts. We were seekers without a map. And that's even more dangerous. Because when you're searching for answers without guidance, you'll try anything to feel something real. What you're about to hear isn't some course that we created in a boardroom. It's a battle tested system that transformed two lost kids into men who could navigate any storm life threw at them.
So welcome to the Ruthless Awakening. Jeandre and I would like to talk to you today about something that we're very proud of, we're very excited about, and it's called the Ruthless Awakening course. This is a 7-week transformation based on many years of interesting experiences that me and him have had. So let me take you back to the beginning. More than 25 years ago, we came to Mexico with my dad, having a very successful business consulting company, doing very well financially. And that, increased our possibility of getting into some shenanigans. So me and Jeandre would be partying hard all the time, drinking, smoking, doing a lot of weed, doing a lot of different kind of, experimental drugs and things like that. And the truth is, we weren't really addicts. We were just very bored. What society was offering us, school, the classic job, all those kind of things, the normal lifestyle was not attractive to us, and we didn't, get enticed by it. So we felt unmotivated to even explore those venues of life and be successful at it. It didn't really, you know, it didn't really move us. So we were just going nowhere really fast. So we were troubled kids, and we were about to get expelled. And because the school was really, kind of irritated with us, we were good academically, but we didn't really do enough. We weren't really part of the school culture, and we were taking other people on the wrong route. This was like, a very selective school where if there's troublemakers, then the other kids or the parents would demand them getting expelled. So my dad stepped in, offered the school a thing called the SDP, the self-discovery process. And the teachers and the director and even the parents were very interested in this because the goal of it was for us troubled youth to kind of find our way. And how did that happen? Well, the whole thing was self-discovery, knowing exactly who you were. And we all had to go on a weekly basis for over a year to this program where we were going through a process where we were discovering who we are. All of us that went through that course ended up being a different kind of man, a different kind of person. So my dad's main insight was, you're not bad kids. You just don't know who you are. You're seekers. You're seekers without any kind of map to find the route that you want to find. So, we went through this process. It stopped us from being lost and realized that who we are will create the path that we have to walk in life. Who we are will create the direction that we have to find in life. So after a few years after that, first I went through the course because I was a couple of generations older than my brother Jeandre. Me and my friends went through the course, and then Jeandre, same situation, was repeating the pattern, and his friends and Jeandre took the course too. A couple of years later, he got ill and he died suddenly. At that stage, we were illegal in the country, and we were going through a financial crisis, so he didn't have medical checkups. Just one day, he started feeling really bad. About 2, 3 weeks later, he was no longer with us. So then the real test started. How much did the self-discovery process really do for us? We had to find out if this framework would work without him as our guide, him as our coach.
After dad died, we were separated as a family, thrown out of our house, lived in a warehouse. So I remember sleeping in a warehouse that was given to us just for a few days while we found our feet. This shell shock of the provider dying, no money, foreign country. Your mom's got this blank 20-mile stare into the ether. Just her whole life is wrecked. And here we are, young men on the verge of starting without a guide, needing to figure out if all of this process that dad taught us actually was worth anything. And I don't know if you could just tell us a little bit more about your experience from these 20 years of hell. Like, you know, what was something during this process that the SDP, the version of dad, really saved you when you were down on your luck, when you were out, when you were broken? Can you recall anything?
So the way the SDP us was just sort of, no matter how big the crisis, segment, break it down into smaller parts, do what you can do. These were some of the catchphrases that we were taught during his program. We no longer had him as a wise counselor to face life. All we had was this map, this concept that we've been shared, that he shared with us, and it was military decision making. It was like how to go through things when the shit really hits the fan. What do you have to do?
Remember, like, I mean, as well, we had like we had to make all these weird ways to get money, right? Eventually we built businesses, but in the beginning, we sold pastries. We sold these South African pastries to Mexican shops, walking tens of kilometers daily to make enough money to buy food and to buy ingredients to repeat the same action tomorrow, the next day.
Right,
It was a
just day to day,
Sisyphean like cycle of just grinding and grinding and everything that you
day by
believe
day.
and all of the nose and all of these things, and also we're living in like the northern part of Mexico, so it gets like 40 degrees Celsius. You're just burning and sweating and just eating beans and eggs, and that's basically it. That's how you're surviving with all these people and this real core depression just around us, right? And despite all of that, we kept on going. We never gave up. We never stopped. We may have broken. We may have fallen down. There was nights that I
We have
remember that I was crying and I just didn't know what's up. And I don't know why the universe treated us like this and why the universe was so hostile towards us. We were good people. What the fuck, you know? And but none of that broke us entirely. Like our egos broke and our frameworks broke, but the core self kept on remaining a consistent thing. And it was because of those catchphrases. It was because of all of these lessons and these methods and these techniques that we learned throughout this time to allow us to achieve our goals. So essentially, the evolution of the ruthless awakening, the name of this podcast, the name of our program, was his dad's framework and everything he learned in the special forces, plus 20 years of brutal battle testing in real life. And that created and evolved into what we're offering today.
Let me tell you about why this system works. Good times or bad. You know, in times of trouble, when it seems like you're drowning, you got nowhere to go, and you're stuck in quicksand, and the more you move, the deeper you go. This system is a very helpful tool. But it's also something that gives you principled living. You're going to start living your life based on things that's not based on fashion and trend. It's not the new positive thinking guy. It's not, yeah, this is a better way to meditate. No, this is something that's based on eternal principles, things, laws on behavior and how to surf through life, how to move through life and always prosper. It especially helps when you go into crisis. I remember friends of ours that's, suddenly their wife leaves them And the advice is go back to your core principles. The question is, what are your core principles? How have you
100%.
defined yourself?
Yes.
How have you decided to go through life? So, Jeandre, why don't you take us through what the seven transformations really are? What are the topics and what are the concepts that we're going to be adapting, changing, modifying, improving, empowering? Go ahead,
100.
my brother.
So, the seven transformations, and we decided to put this into seven transformations because you can make a complex thing, but we wanted to keep it as simple as possible. These are key areas of every person's life that when you transform these areas, it has significant impact in everything else within your life. So we started off with a fundamental question that starts everything. Who am I? Like who are you when everything's stripped away? What is that remaining factor? When you're not your job, when you're not your labels, when you're not your function, when you're not your role, who the hell are you? This is what the first transformation is about. And we incorporate a bunch of different techniques to be able to approach it in such an objective way that you can bypass your subjectivity about yourself. Then we move on to the next phase, which is what brings me joy. Finding your light within the chaos, finding what makes you happy, irrespective of if everything's going bad. Then we move on to what's your power. What are your gifts? What are your natural gifts? And the things that if you use this, you'll become a better, more powerful person because you effortlessly use your own skills, your own gifts, your own talents. After that, we move on towards the circle of your connections and your relationships. How do you connect with the world, with those around you? How do you build real bonds when you have nothing to offer or when you have seemingly so much to offer that it's all fake masks? How do you connect with real people that see you for who you really are, not for your riches or your lack thereof? Then, after that, we move on to how do you express your truth? How do you speak? What is your truth? What do you speak clearly when the whole world would want you to be silent? What is the thing that you know that you should say, but you remain quiet or are afraid to? After that, we move on to what's your vision? How you just see beyond your current circumstances and look into purpose, look into the rest of your life, the meaning of life, framing, contextualizing. That's where we move into the sixth transformation. And in the final transformation, we take all of these six different areas, these key areas, and we integrate them into a living framework that evolves with you every single step of the way. This is not about a temporary, I finished a course. This is about integrating it into your daily life so that no matter what happens, the good times or the bad times, you have a system that is evolving with you, that is updating your principles, that is updating your vision as you're growing and as more information comes in. This isn't a static thing. This is something that will evolve as you evolve.
Really discovering the gold that's inside it, discovering that pure thing that the world needs at this point, uh, and who you are, and that's why it's something that transforms and adjusts as you grow in the journey. Your vision becomes clearer, your decision making becomes better. The things that you want to do is just better, but you always have these guiding principles that you will be adding to what you're doing currently. And having a personal vision in life, professional personal vision, is one of the main things that a human needs to be successful in life.
This course, this program, I don't even like to call it a course, but this program itself
Program. It's a process.
keeps you centered irrespective of whether you're having a crisis moment or whether you're living a moment of abundance. Now, why do I say low moment of abundance? A lot of people think that, oh, once I've reached abundance, everything's honky dory and it's great. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of times your success can become a trap as well. And you become comfortable in your materialistic ways. You think things are a certain way when in reality it's actually multiple different ways. And this program keeps you fresh. It keeps you in a constant state of observing, and it keeps you present through both bad times and good times. It doesn't allow you to get caught up in the energy spheres of each of these different type of situations, good or bad. It helps transform trauma into power. You know, when you realize that your fears and your traumas and all these bad things, you can take these wounds, these existential wounds that have happened over your course of your life, and turn them into your weapons, turn them into your greatest sources of power. It makes you unbreakable without making you hard. It creates success from authenticity, not from strategic thinking. From who you are, it resonates and influences your reality to be able to place you in alignment with who you truly are and what you came to do on this planet.
So yeah, just to add a little bit to what Jeandre said, what does this do? Well, it's kind of a guiding light. It's having that north star in the middle of an ocean of life. It's something that's really going to help you go to where you are meant to be. You know, not what others think that you're supposed to do, not mom and dad's expectations, not your wife's, not your partner, not your friends. It's who you are. That's the North Star. And it creates such a level of joy and happiness and fulfillment because now you're sort of aligning to your, if we could say, divine purpose, because your divine purpose has been installed in who you authentically are. And the moment you discover who you authentically are, that becomes the place that you're going constantly, no matter where you are, what the season of your life is. It's just constant being able to go towards manifesting in the right way, authentic way.
So what we're doing for this particular launch, like we have been working on this project for the past 6 months, like actively putting it together. 20 years doing the research in real time. Now we're at this point where we are ready to take it out to the world, to take it out to the public and show and give people access to this. But before we do that, we're doing a special invitation where we're inviting 100 people. And I believe as of recording this right now, there's only 99 spots left. First one already went. Um, who are ready to step outside of the comfortable lies of their own lives, that knows that those lies are killing them, that are keeping them, it's suffocating them, it's not allowing them to be the person who they are meant to be. And so for the next 7 Saturdays, starting on August 16th, we're going to guide you through what took us 20 years to achieve. We're going to go you through about basically 7 weeks. That's what it's going to take. It's going to be live sessions on Zoom, going to be recorded for everybody who joins. Additionally, we're going to give lifetime access to this core group of people, which we call the founding members, uh, because we want to be in touch with you. We know that you guys are like us. You are our tribe. You are the people who seek transformation, who are ruthless about life, who goes forward. Um, and we want to give you access to us, our mind, our experiences, help create the community of fellow seekers to be achieving this. And we're doing this for only $199. Not because we think that the course doesn't have a higher value than this. On the contrary, we believe this course is way more valuable than the price that we're offering. The reason we're dropping the price this much is because we, out of principle, believe that this type of transformational work should not be limited to the wealthy. We also don't want to make it free because you do have to have some sort of engagement to be able to take this type of work serious. So we came up to this point where for this first 100 people, it'll be 199 as a just an entry point. But it's for you to make an actual commitment with us and with yourself to go through this process and to radically redefine your life. After this pre-sale runs out, it becomes a normal course and we will have it. It'll still have the same effect. It just won't be live with us anymore. But right now, we're not looking for a course. We're looking for brothers and sisters. We're looking for fellow seekers who are tired of the way that the whole world's been going.
Right now, the world is in that chaotic change period. So, being able to offer a high level of certainty in times of certainty, when the world has no clear cut direction, we don't really know how economy is going to go. That's when we need people that are architects, people
Yes.
that are able to build their own structures, their own ways, their own tribes. And this is what we will be giving you during this 7 week transformation series, where you're actually changing everything or redefining or revamping everything about yourself. And in time of chaos, you'll be a lighthouse on the
Yes.
stormy water. You'll be able to
100%.
help other people, and
Yeah.
that's going to increase your wealth on a interpersonal level, but it's definitely going to increase your wealth and your lifestyle on a financial. It's definitely going to hit it. This is all connected to the same thing. Who are you?
People who's watching this right now, we could have gone and created another feel good course for comfortable people. Same old self help bullshit that's out there. But that's not who we are. This is for people who know that life can be ruthless, who's been knocked down and has been able to get back up differently. Our father gave us these tools when we were teens and when we were destroying ourselves, but this kept us alive during some of the most horrendous moments of our lives and has taken us to heights and depths that we were able to use to transform and inform who we are, helped us thrive in chaos. And now we are ready to pass that on to 100 people who's ready to stop surviving and to start living a raw and authentic life. The question is, are you one of them?